I wanted to do this for so long.
Yeah. Happy New Year, friends.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy new job. What else has happened?
Happy New so many things.
Happy new so many things. Gosh.
Happy New Holidays.
I need my breath back. It was an effort. Considering our last episode was in a hotel with some wireless microphones with no recorder, one camera, I've gone the whole hog the other way today.
You went all out.
Shall I show everyone what we've done?
I don't understand how you can have all of this in your brain. Just knowing what to do.
What do you mean?
Just so tech savvy.
So we have, okay, let's do cameras first. So that's my camera over there filming me. And then we've got, this is Anisha's camera. It's filming Anisha. You can see her in there, just about, kind of a bit blurred. There she is. There you go. Okay. And then we've got, Bubbles. I've made him be a cameraman. Got a GoPro up there on Bubbles. And then right at the top here, we've got this one. This actually not my camera. That's Nilish's camera. Thank you, Nilish, for letting me borrow your camera still. So I am using it. But you can have it back. Have I missed one? No, that's it. And then, bless you, and we've got our light there. So yeah, I just went all out and went as complicated as I could make it. Just because I can. Because it's practice. And do you know why? The other reason was I did this is because of what happened in Edinburgh. I didn't get to play with my toys.
Oh, yeah.
I took them all. Should I tell the story about what happened to me in Edinburgh?
Sure.
So I went to Edinburgh for work.
In your new job.
In my new job, which I'll talk about in a minute. And it was really exciting. So I've talked about before my video days with Nilesh when I used to go and do recording with him. This was the equivalent, right? This was my first time doing a on the road video day with my new job, apart from obviously going to Florida. But this was the first one here in the UK, and I was really excited. And I was going to his house, very similar to what I used to do in Nilesh, right? Going to someone's house. Anyway, so it was in Edinburgh, and I took all my gear, like everything I just basically just showed people, including these microphones. I took everything, right? Because we were going to do recording, we were going to do a podcast, and I just wanted to showcase to Mark, my new boss, this is what I can do, right? Had all the coloured lights and everything. And then on the way from the airport to my hotel in Edinburgh, because I flew, which was a mistake, as I got off the bus, I left the bag behind. I had a little man bag on me, which had my passport, my wallet, my headphones that you're wearing right now, and one of these Sony cameras. And I'd left it behind. And I didn't realise this until like 2-3 hours later when I was sitting in the Premier Inn reception, because I got there like at 10, 11 in the morning, and you can't check in until like 3. So I just sat in the reception doing work. So I logged into their Wi-Fi. And then hours went by, and then I was like, I need something from that bag. Because I had the batteries, all my camera batteries were in that little bag as well. And I went to look for the bag with all my luggage and stuff, and it wasn't there. Panic. It's just panic ensued. Anyway, then there was a long story to get the bag back. I had to call the bus company, and then the bus company weren't answering their phone, so I sent a thing on their website. I had to go fill out a form on their website, and the website form says we'll get back to you within 3 working days, and this was like a Friday, and I had work to do as well. I had like a full day of work. Also, this was the Thursday, wasn't it? I had a full day of work to do as well. And anyway, I sent the email form, and then I kept trying to phone them. I went back to the bus stop where I got off, and I spoke to one of the drivers there, and I said, "Hey, what should I do?" And he's like nothing you can do. You have to just go onto the website anyway. So I got an automated response from that email that I sent on the form on the website, and it wasn't one of those do not reply to this, one of those you can't reply to, no sender type one. So I just replied to it because I saw it was an email address, like customer service at whatever. And I was like, I just begged them. I was like, listen, please, this is what's happened. I can't get my flight back home because, you need ID, and my driver's license and my passport were in that bag. So I literally begged them, and then I got a call because I put my phone number in it. I got a call from someone saying, "Hey, I got your email. I've spoken to the driver." Because I had sent a copy of my bus ticket as well, and they had located a bag that matched the description, so they had it. So then it was just a case of getting it back. So anyway, the next day they sent it to the lost property place. But it kind of ate into, by the time the lost, I had to go, because Mark's place is like 20 minutes away from Edinburgh Central where I was staying, and like I had to go there to work, and then I didn't have all my kit because obviously my camera and my batteries were all in there, so I couldn't use any of my camera stuff. Anyway, we didn't get to do any recording. I didn't get to do any podcasting. So when I got home and I was waiting before I went to pick you up from the airport, I had like I would have had more, but I had like 4 hours or so. And I thought, you know what? I just have this itch that I need to scratch. And I just went wild and set this studio up like this. And I want to leave it like this now. So the idea was, because we don't do this enough, right? I keep saying at the beginning, like I said at the top of this episode, we've been wanting to do this for a while. And one of the obstacles is the setup. So I'm just going to try and leave this like this now and see how it fits into our workflow. Because of course we've got a lot of other filming that we've got coming up as well. So, which we'll talk about. Anyway, that's my bit about Edinburgh.
So you got a new job.
I got a new job.
And you've talked about going up to Edinburgh for work. And
so I got a job, yeah. So, gosh, it's been 6 months, well, nearly 6 months, not even 6 months, right? February, end of. So I started in, it's 6 months. It's 6 months. End of September I started. So, how did this happen? Well, first of all, I believe that I kind of put this out in the universe, right? And I know this because this is exactly where my head was. It was at a time where I was freelancing and things were going okay. They weren't going amazingly well, like in terms of income and clients. I was still kind of finding my feet a little bit, but I had lots of regular work and the odd project here and there, and that was keeping me afloat. And obviously I had Pharmacy Star, which I was doing a lot of work with. But anyway, I got contacted by this company. And they were looking for a videographer to essentially work for them, to help them to create content, edit existing content. They have a podcast as well. The company itself, they're an online training company. So they actually, and this is where the kind of all the irony start to come in. They're actually a company that train recruitment business owners. So of course, I spent 15 years working in the recruitment industry in the UK and in Dubai. And so it's not an industry I'm not familiar with. So there's a guy called Mark Whitby, who is a recruitment coach, effectively. So he coaches recruiters, and he started this company, and he is now coaching recruitment business owners, so people that go off and set up on their own. So he helps them to set up their business, scale their business, set processes, put policies in place, everything from operations, sales, marketing. He talks about sort of the podcast piece. He has a podcast as well, so he's a very successful podcaster, and he's been doing this kind of managing this all in house. He's been running the company for 20 odd years now. I think he started in 2001. And he's been scaling his company for the last sort of 5 or 6 years, hiring a COO, hiring an offshore virtual assistant. And because their business is content, so they have these Zoom calls where they coach their cohorts, right? Their members. So it's a membership platform. And these happen weekly, and they record all of these coaching calls via Zoom. So they've got 600, 700 hours worth of content sitting there of these Zoom recordings. And they just needed they wanted a way to go into that content and basically start to, extract some of the golden nuggets, extract some of the highlights and the key bits, some of the good bits, because there's lots of good information there. So that's kind of one of the things that they wanted me to do, as well as record content for their podcast, edit their podcast, the video part of their podcast anyway, similar to what I do with Pharmacist Diaries. And then they hold events. So they have these annual events for their members, these in-person live events, and this is again days more like a conference, right? It's like 2 days of in-person coaching where everyone gets together, they share ideas, and they have presenters, they have speakers, they have panel discussions, And they record all of these events as well. So part of my remit would be to go to these live events, and there's one happens in the US every year and one happens in the UK or Europe every year. So their first one was in Florida. And literally the reason they put that advert out at that time was because they were desperate to get someone in time for their October event. So this is September, right? So there was an event in October in Florida that they needed this person to come and basically just run the entire production for them. So anyway, I was reading this job spec and I literally couldn't believe how perfect it was for me, right? It was literally everything that I enjoy about the creative process was in this job spec. And then not only that, it coupled my experience in recruitment, which I never ever thought it would come in this useful. Of course, there's loads of transferable skills like sales and negotiation and all that you take over, but to this extent where I'm having to I understand all the terminology, everything that everyone's talking about, all of that. It's not nonsense to me. If it was a completely different industry, if it was like rocket design, I'd have no idea what these videos would be going on about, right? But I understand everything, so that's an added bonus. And then coaching. I've been a coach, obviously, for a very long time now as well, and they're a coaching business. I've already done a coaching session for their members on podcasting, and we did a podcast series, and I did a session about automation and using AI in the podcast production process. So anyway, it's been amazing, and I kind of wanted to, new jobs at the beginning, they're exciting. You're kind of in that honeymoon phase, I'd say. And I wanted to wait until I really spoke about it because I wanted to really give it a fair reflection. So like I said, it's been 6 months now. I had the trip to Florida, which has been amazing, where I had to go and do that whole production for 2 days. I've just been to Edinburgh, which was a bit of a disaster, but we still got a lot done. I'm just obviously still pinching myself that this is now my job.
Living your best life. You have so much to be grateful for. Such an exciting place to work. And your manager is amazing. He's so understanding, kind, generous. Like an amazing boss.
Not just the boss, but the team. They're all amazing. Yeah, it's just a phenomenal group of people. That we've got Mark, we've got Julie, who's the one of the other coaches. She's in Belfast. We've got Leanne, who's the COO. She's the one that contacted me. So me and Leanne, she found me, and then we've got 2 people offshore in the Philippines virtually. So that's the kind of the core team, and then we've got a couple of freelancers that we work with as well. But they're just all really lovely people, and it's just it's nice to be a part of other people, and it's it's the same sort of work that we've been doing since 2019 to 2020. When I first started my podcast, this podcast. It's recording, it's editing, it's creating thumbnails, it's doing the social. I'm in charge. I'm trying to take over the YouTube and the Instagram. Even that's not kind of my main remit, but no one's doing that, so I'm just kind of like running with it because it's fun and I enjoy it, and it's kind of part of what I'm doing in trying to share my video and all the editors that I'm creating. So it's like I said, it's just amazing that it's helping us as well in our kind of growth as well with Pharmacist Diaries, not just that and obviously this channel as well, because we're getting so many ideas and so much knowledge and understanding of ways of doing things and systems that work and membership platforms and communities and how communities engage with each other, and just seeing this community that Mark has built. It's phenomenal to see that how it works on a virtual level, but also in person when we go to these events. It's really fascinating.
It's amazing. I'm using their company culture as inspiration for when I grow my team, because there's such a great organization to work for. So many good things in place to make it a nice place to work. And I feel like it's probably not rare, but we're not hearing enough of that.
Oh yeah, of course. I haven't even talked about them. I mean, the hours, the flex. So it's this is a job where. So a full-time job is what? Rough 40 hours a week, right? Which is what my contract says. I've got to do 40 hours a week. How I deliver those 40 hours, they really don't There's no rules around that at all. Look, they ideally want you to do the 40 hours within 5 days, right? Because they want you to have the week. Again, this is from they're trying to look after your well-being, right? They want you to have the weekends as a weekend. They don't want you to be working on the weekend and stretching yourself. So like, ideally, look, do it within 5 days. That's what the contract says. But yeah, sometimes people will work on weekends. But yeah, within 5 days. But I can do, so if I want to start at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, which I have done a few times, and finish at, so 7 till 3 was a kind of a standard 8-hour day. That kind of fits very well. On some days, if I want to do different hours, so I can just literally pick and choose the hours depending on what I want to do. So I've literally scheduled my day where I have time to do everything that I need to do, right? So whether it's I need to do the school run, and we do our scheduling meetings, which we'll talk about, where if I need to do the school run, if I need to do, if I have to go to the gym, I just schedule it. I schedule a break in my day to actually go to the gym so I can actually get it in, and then I make sure I get my work done. So it's just it feels like I'm still a freelancer because I'm managing my own time, and that's quite rare to find a permanent full-time job where you literally still feel, and because no one's like checking in on me or asking me, what have you done today? What are you doing today? We have systems and processes in place to communicate with each other, but it's not like, how you would think being in a company would be. But so yeah, it's perfect on all fronts, really.
I love it. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. So that's been obviously a big change in our workflow, in our kind of day-to-day, because obviously I was looking after Kai a lot. That was my kind of key responsibility. That kind of changed. We've had to get extra childcare for him. I still now look after him on Thursday. So again, this job has helped me out to do that. So I can work now I work 4 longer days and have the Thursday to look after him until, of course, your mum comes back in a few days' time now. Wow, it's not so soon.
Can't wait.
And we have had 2 holidays.
Okay, no, I've had 2 holidays recently.
Oh yeah, I said we. Feels like I technically have had a holiday, but go on anyway.
Yeah, so we went to Zanzibar in December, which was epic. And I recently took both Kai and Lily to India for a week for half-term holiday. That was legendary.
On your own?
On my own. Yeah. It was, my parents go there. For people who don't know, my parents go there from sort of October, November, all the way till March. They just living their best life, like traveling all around the country, seeing friends, meeting family members. They've gone to like multiple cities, going in trains and planes and all sorts of things, going on all these tourist adventures. I think they went to like a tiger safari. They're loving it, and they really wanted us to join them at some point while they were away. And ideally, they wanted us to come at Christmas time so that we could have a couple of weeks together. But when I looked at the price of flights, it was just insane, like £4,000+ for a return flight to India. And I said, I could probably get an amazing holiday for the 4 of us somewhere with loads of sunshine and heat and the ocean and a swimming pool, and I will be golden. And that's what I went on my holiday missions. You know how I get once I have an idea about going on holiday. It's on my mind all day, every day, and I'm literally on booking.com and flights, and
it's like me trying to buy a new camera.
It's too much. So I just go off on one and then start having Excel sheets with different locations and hotels and what we would do and how many nights to stay and what's the variety in the holiday that we need, from adventure to family time to relaxation to water sports. And I made it come to reality.
It was amazing.
I know. I'm so good at holiday trips and organising them.
Zanzibar was phenomenal. It was everything you thought it would be in terms of what you see on the videos and the pictures. The travel was hard. The travel was tough, and
with a 6-year-old who is an angel.
She was perfect.
Perfection. I mean, there's no other words to describe it. She's like an adult traveler on Smarties because she's just always excited. No matter what she's doing, going there or coming back, she gets really excited and she's having fun. She's me. She's a mini version of me. Anyways, so she was amazing, but our 1-year-old was a little bit challenging. It was tough.
Yeah.
New experience for him. He didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what to expect. I booked the night flight on the way there in the hopes that he would sleep more on the journey. And then we had a stopover. Well, actually, do you know what? It was 2 stopovers.
It was 2 stopovers.
Yeah.
You technically took off. You took off and landed 3 times. Right.
I didn't give you that much information when I booked it. I was like, well.
So there was a stopover. So there's a flight. So let's explain. We had a flight from here to Frankfurt.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what we did, didn't we? Yeah, here to Frankfurt. And then we changed at Frankfurt and got a connecting flight, which we just made because there was a delay on our flight from Heathrow to Frankfurt. Like, the shortest flight ever. But anyway, so we just made that flight. Then that flight went from Frankfurt to Nairobi, where it stopped like a bus.
Refueled.
People who were getting off at Nairobi got off the bus. People that were going from Nairobi to Zanzibar got on the plane while it refueled. So that was, I don't know, it's about an hour, I reckon, at least.
It was an hour.
It was at least an hour, right? And we can't do it. We have to stay on the plane. So we're me, you, and the 2 kids on the plane after having just travelled 7 hours, whatever it was, from Frankfurt. And then the plane takes off again and then lands in Zanzibar like an hour and a bit later, whatever it was, right? It wasn't that far, but it was still, yeah. And then you're in Zanzibar. So, yeah, it was quite challenging to keep him entertained and, I mean, who wouldn't be? Like, he's not even got his own seat. He's got to sit on our lap or in our arms, or it's
tough.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Tough. And no one feels good on a plane. You do. It's tiring. You're not comfortable. You're dehydrated. You don't eat properly. So it's tough for everybody except Lily, who loves it. And he doesn't like sleeping with us in our arms, not really. So for him
except me.
Yeah, he does like sleeping with you.
Yeah, he does.
But to get him to go to sleep, we knew would be challenging. But to be fair on him, it's not like we had crazy amounts of crying or anything compared to what I saw recently. Not with him, with other family members with kids. Some parents were having a really hard time. But we made it. And once we made it, I ensured that we had our hotel really close by to the airport because that was a necessity to recover for a couple of nights.
That was good.
And the hotel were amazing. And it was such a good location in Stone Town. And we were able to make some new friends in the hotel. So a couple with a daughter from Dubai. And then we went on our adventure and we went to the boat ride with the dolphins and swimming with the dolphins and snorkeling.
We actually saw dolphins. So I went swimming. So we went on a boat ride in Florida to see dolphins when I went with work. And obviously we were all very excited. And I mean, technically we did see dolphins, but it was quite lame. And this time it was amazing. I've got the footage and hopefully I've been not lazy and I'll put it over this part of the episode. But yeah, it was amazing. So that boat ride was a phenomenal, like going onto that island with the sandbanks and just snorkeling and just sitting, just
eating fruit.
Yeah, the fruit platter that the guy made, and just that. But that day there was a moment where I was on the sand. I remember on the sand, and there was just Kiki was just playing, and I just felt so happy, and so nothing, just so present. It really was, because I was literally realized that this is it. This is those moments that you think about and you dream about and you fantasize about when you're booking holidays, you're thinking about travel, you watch someone's video. That was the moment. I was in it, right? And I didn't have my camera, didn't have my phone. I literally was just me, and it was amazing. Yeah.
I love it. We had such a good time, and then we moved over to another hotel on the opposite side of the island. Stayed there for 10 days, which was so nice. Except that Kiki got super sick, and that was a little bit worrying and extremely exhausting for a few days. But I still had an amazing time.
Yeah, it was good. His illness was worrying, but once he had recovered, it was just, again, it was literal paradise, wasn't it? I mean, that's what you would call it. And
the ocean was just glorious.
Yeah, weather was good.
Weather was amazing. Food was so good. Hospitality was good. Our air conditioning unit broke, and they were just, they really were kind about trying to help us with young children. They gave us free meals for 2 days. That was awesome. It really made the experience enjoyable, even though we were sweating buckets.
Yeah,
it was hot.
They were really nice and accommodating. So
so that was a really good 2 weeks off and an amazing end to 2023. And it was really felt like it was needed for us as a family. We had such a, good year, but a really hard year. Lots of change. I resigned from my job. That was big for me. That was such a difficult decision that took me like weeks and weeks to actually have with my employer, because I love working there, but it just wasn't working out for my well-being.
Let's release I Quit My Job on the ass.
Oh yeah.
Why have we done that?
I quit my job, yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Maybe we'll put it before this one as episode 3, and this will be episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should just release it on a different platform. Okay. Sorry. Just
Side note,
talking to editor Sunjay.
Yeah, so we, it was a tough year, 2023, and having a young baby in the house. So January, he was 5 months by then. I returned to work early and full time, and he was only going to nursery 2 days at that point. So you were looking after him a lot, and my parents were helping as much as they could. But it was really tough because he just is not a very good sleeper. And we are still having so many challenges with evening routine. Well, not evening routine, just sleep. And I'm confident that he will find a way, because he does know how to do it, and he will get there. And I have faith in him. That little guy, he's feral. I love him. But I'm really excited about 2024. I think I have so much to look forward to, so many exciting projects going on, so much change in my life since resigning from my job, and things that I'm exploring which light me up.
What are you most excited about?
I think I have 2 things. It can't just be one. It's so hard to choose.
One thing.
Okay, I'm excited that Pharmacist Diaries as a brand is going to up its game this year. It's going big and bold, and I'm really excited about that. I have a lot of energy for my brand and doing something for myself and serving an amazing community of pharmacy students and pharmacists, and I'm really looking forward to that.
But that's great, but what's okay, talk about one thing that you're going to do that's going to help you to do that, because that's we're doing that anyway. But what is it? So what is it? Just so people can get an idea. So give us an example of something that's going to help you achieve that.
So I'm launching an online community.
Amazing.
That is what 2024 is going to be about. It's about community. So I'm building an online community where we'll have access as a membership program, a monthly membership program, and you'll have access to live Q&A sessions with me on whatever topics that you want to talk about. Like, the community will drive the platform, and I will support the community and their needs from a career perspective, from a health and well-being perspective, from a productivity and time management and looking after your organization in terms of your personal life and professional life. We'll have expert speakers coming on once a month, or kind of, behind the scenes, my own podcast episodes, which are just for the community and not the ones that I would be launching on my usual Pharmacist Diaries podcast.
So exclusive content, podcast content, just for members.
Yeah, and there's an amazing sort of group chat. There will be templates that I'll start creating for people. Things like, how to write a personal statement, or advice on templates for like your CV or your resume. Maybe you want to apply for an internship or a placement, and I can support with writing like a really good positive email to an employer who I want to go and work for, and what things I should include in that. I think that's really valuable for people, especially younger students who are on that journey towards professional and career development, because they're not necessarily receiving that from the university. And I think it's a missing link. And I want to help fill that gap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. And I
it.
think, I'm really looking forward to building a community and having that connection with people, because I know how many people listen to my podcast. I know how many downloads I get every month, or how many views I get on YouTube. But I wish that people would reach out to me more. I do get lots of messages, but I feel like, I'm craving that connection with people. And that's what's driving me to think about an event that's live and face to face. Because I love what I do with the podcast, but I do it on my own. And I want my community to be part of that journey, and I want them to be with me and see it face to face. Because I don't know how people react when they watch an episode on their sofas or in bed, or they listen to it in the car, or while they're going for a walk. I want them to be part of the experience with me. So this summer, and I've talked to a lot of my students at King's as to whether they join a live podcast event in London, and they were so excited. So I'd really like to make that happen.
That'd be awesome.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. More live stuff, more in person. We've done, obviously, already kicked off this year by doing a batch of in-person episodes as well as remote episodes. So that's been good. So that's, from a production perspective, there's loads that we are playing around with. Yeah, creating exclusive content for the platform. I think that's going to be key. It's going to be both video content, audio content. We'll curate some stuff for health and well-being. I'll help out with some of the health and well-being stuff. And it's just going to be things that we can offer people. I think routine. People obviously ask a lot about routine in terms of like evening routine, bedtime routines, morning routines. Especially when you've got kids, sometimes it's hard to keep a routine, and that's okay. So I think what we'll hopefully be doing is showcasing a little bit more of our routines. And we are both now working in a very hybrid model. Some fully remote working, some in-person working, and some travel and all of that. So we don't have routine like you would have, two people, if two people had a 9-to-5 job, and kids went to school at, normal times, and that's, you can set that routine according to the school calendar, where ours is going to be so different because we're just involved in so many different things right now. But that's part of the excitement, part of the fun, and part of the evolution. So we'll kind of help people with challenges that they might be having with routines as well. Because I think that's important. It's an important part for us. I mean, we talk about it a lot. We have our scheduling, which we do as well as part of, just to help us keep routine and help us keep sanity throughout our week. So we know when we're doing things that are, doing things that are really important, like looking after yourself, because that's what often gets let go of when things get busy.
Yeah, and I was talking to a friend the other day about finding time for yourself, or finding time for exercise, and kind of the motivation piece around that as well. And I was talking about these weekly meetings and the types of things that we put into the schedule. So, of course, parenting becomes a major part of that. But we also focus on, I guess, what our values are and the type of personalities that we have and the experiences that we like. So you prefer to work out in the morning. You just don't like doing it other times of day. It doesn't suit your personality. It's been ingrained into your lifestyle for, over 2 decades, maybe even 3. So it's hard to change that. And also, I love the idea of early morning workouts where you get it out the way and you just set yourself up in a positive manner, just looking after yourself before you crack on with your day job. Like, that's awesome.
It's as the saying goes, right? Take care of yourself first. Put your life vest on first before you help others, right? There's all sorts of analogies that you could use, right? So what better way are you showing an intention that by getting up in the morning and the first thing you do before you really do anything, is look after yourself. I mean by that, brush your teeth. That's looking after yourself, right? Get yourself to the gym or get yourself out for a walk. Get yourself, do some yoga, do some stretching, whatever that looks like, right? But it's doing something for you. And we're talking about the physical. So yeah, something physical, something that involves movement. It might be meditation, right? And then some movement. So 100%. It's, for me, the reason it's been ingrained in me because I've done it. I never used to do it all those years because I knew all of this, right? This is all kind of new, the last sort of 15 years of my life, I've figured out all this stuff. But back then it was just because it made me feel good. Right. And the days when I didn't, it was so obvious. The days that I didn't do it in the morning, I'd feel crap. Right. And yeah, I would sometimes do it in the evening, but it wasn't the same. It just wasn't, you got so yeah, for me it's morning, but that's not gospel, right? Like everyone is different.
The point I'm making is that you like to do exercise in the morning and it's part of your values and your personality. Right. I would like to do the same, but of course I've got a Champneys evening membership, so I have to find time to exercise outside of what I enjoy, but I make it a more relaxing experience. And I've shift my mindset to say, okay, well, actually, if I go there and I enjoy a swim because I love swimming, or I do yoga, which is good for my physical and mental health, plus I have access to the sauna, steam room, plunge pool, hydrotherapy pool, water beds, jacuzzis, reading spaces, that I make it a very sort of personal time for me. And the point of the story is that going back to scheduling, we basically tell each other elements of our lives that we need to incorporate into our routine, and the importance of us meeting together to do that is that we give each other the space and the respect to achieve those goals. And the conversation I had with my friend when I told her that this is what we do to get me time, it was like I was talking a different language, like they hadn't even thought of doing that as a couple. So it's helping me to realize how much we know in terms of health and well-being, and how excited I am to continue to share all of this information with other people. Because if there are things that we do in our routine that might help other people, then I should explain that. And I hope that people will be able to understand how they can then incorporate it into their lives.
Yeah, it's communication, isn't it? It's a lot of people listening, and everyone. I mean, a lot of people we know, very smart people. They're very successful in their careers and their jobs. And if you look at how someone operates at work, they have systems, they have processes, they have calendars, they have all of these things. Why not do that in your personal life, right? And this is what we learned this mostly through the coaching that we went on. Yeah, but it's been an evolving journey for us as well. That and I've always done this anyway. Like my calendar has always extended into my personal life. I've always done that, right? It's just been a natural thing for me to do ever since I had a calendar, ever since whenever it was Outlook, many, many years ago, or whatever it was before that on the BlackBerry. It's the calendar. I'd always put my personal stuff in there as well. That's just something I've done. Not everyone does that, right? So a lot of people they only use calendars at work, and that's just a very basic tool that you can implement very, very easily and free and cheaply, right? For calendars, online calendars are free. to make life easy and that's kind of how we also have started as well in our journey with this, just by having a simple calendar structure. So I think there's a lot of value in some of the smaller things, and we also want to learn from what other people are doing as well, and what the challenges are, because we might not see that and we might not have those challenges. So it's interesting just to learn and say, well, as a coach, feedback is always important. Whenever I did my sessions, it would be, someone would come back and say, oh yeah, I tried that, I did this, and this is what happened. And that's valuable to know. Okay, well, and like I said, everyone's different, and different things might not work. Everything's not going to work for everyone. So it's just a case of figuring out what does. So anyway, for us, it's fun. It's a learning experience as well.
Yeah, it's a really good and positive part of weekly routine to get that done. And we obviously have our family calendar, which Lily likes to get involved with.
We do. It needs a bit of an update, but we do use it still.
Yeah. Like Kiki night duties on there, because we have to swap night duty just in case he wakes up.
That needs to change, yeah. But the most important thing is on there, which is who's choosing the music today. So as long as that's what we really use it for. to
Lily's on it.
She double checks every time.
Every day. She's
checks.
Like, it's my turn for music today and I would like Paw Patrol stories.
I put the music on, she would go straight over to the board and double check, just to make sure.
Yeah, she claims.
But I take yours, I take your spot sometimes, and she still calls me out on it. Like if you're not here.
Really?
Yeah.
Hilarious. She's funny.
She's a stickler for the rules.
I know, right? Yeah, that's cute. So yeah, we have lots to look forward to. And
loads going on, courses, talks, more live production stuff. Yeah, loads of exciting stuff.
I'm going to university next week for a careers fair. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, we're going to be doing more on this channel on the ass. We've just had some. Well, we're going to be extending our Naked Pharmacy affiliate from Pharmacist Diaries. So we're going to bring that over. So we're working on that behind the scenes now. So once that's ready, we'll bring you hopefully a discount code for those products on this channel as well. So that'll be exciting. So we're going to try and create more content around that as well. That's going to be fun for us. Just talk about these supplements, this company, how they've come about, what goes into these products. They're all natural, all thinking about sustainability, thinking about the environment, and the ingredients they're using: turmeric, magnesium, a lot of these natural ingredients, and just going into the science a little bit more about that, right? That's going to be super fun.
That is going to be an exciting project. And even when they reached out to me a few weeks ago, I was so excited because I'm really enjoying having this partnership with them. And I just love their brand and everything that they're about. So I'm really happy that
they align with a lot of our values. Yeah, they from a health perspective, first and foremost. There's an alignment there. The messaging behind the brand. I mean, go and listen to that episode with Kevin that Anisha did on Pharmacist Diaries. He talks about you hear about his story. But we're going to try and bring some more content from the brand themselves and what they're up to. Maybe get a few more of the people that work there onto the podcast. A little bit more of behind the scenes. And just showcase how we use their products. We have been using them, right? We do use them. On a daily basis. I've been on and off with them, but I know you and Anisha and Lily was using them as well because they have the kids supplement. So just a little bit more of showcase of how they integrate into our lifestyle and why, right? Because again, everyone's different, but why are these supplements useful for us and why do we take them? I think that's something we haven't really discuss, but that's something we'll talk a bit more about.
Yeah, I can't wait. Loads of explorations to come. I also recently returned from India. That was our second trip, which I decided to go on an adventure with my children and leave you behind.
So this is a February half term. So we're just come to the end of that.
And I had the best time. And everyone was focusing on the fact that traveling with 2 children on your own was mental. But I genuinely enjoyed being a parent in those moments, because I genuinely love traveling so much that I don't mind the hassle of children with me, because we had so much fun together. Of course, there were some hard moments. I was a little bit tired sometimes, or a little bit frustrated. And from India, I went to Dubai, which was 8 hours, 2-hour layover, but there was a delay, so we literally legged it to the next flight, and then another 3 hours back home.
Don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
And
a 2-hour journey in the car once you get to India.
That's also that's also
so
hard work.
It was 18 hours in total of travel.
The same as Zanzibar then.
It's exactly the same.
Hours. We did 18 hours.
But I think that because we went to India only a couple of months ago, my guess is that Kiki remembers part of that journey and where he was and the seats, and you have to sit still. And we underestimated how much he would remember and how that made my experience so much easier, because he did have awareness of what was going on.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he wasn't fighting with me to get out the seat and walk up and down the aisles. He was just happy kind of sitting. There were moments where he had to get down and stretch his legs, and we did stretching on the plane. I should have videoed it, but we did stretching on the plane, me and Kai, where the stewardesses cook and whatnot. We went there, and I would bend down and touch my toes, and he was doing the same, and arms up in the air, and we were just passing time doing some random stuff. I did round the garden about 50,000 times, but he just loved it. And then I found a bowling game where you can use your little finger to kind of move the ball, which he was actually quite decent at that game. And he was just flicking that thing 100,000 times. And he just talked to me. He just sang songs and talked to me. And he, in India, he saw a drone.
At the wedding?
At a wedding that was in our street. It was the loudest, craziest, wildest experience for my children. On the first day we arrive, it's evening, we're kind of getting ready for bed, and suddenly there's this insane amount of music and banging, and there's no way anyone's going to sleep. And we went onto the balcony, and it was on our road. There were 2 horses, a lit up carriage. They had these massive battery operated light system at the back, and they had women holding these umbrellas with light bulbs inside, and then 2 massive trucks with speakers, and a whole drumming sets, and Kai was loving it. He was loving it. He was really whoa, sensory overload.
Yeah.
And Lily at first was whoa, this is too noisy. But then the second time around, because it happened on the last day as well, she was really into it, went out in the street and was dancing. And then at that moment, Kai discovered drones. And he watched them set it all up, and he was really into it. And then when he saw it hovering in the sky, he was so excited. He's a mini version of you. And he just really enjoyed it. And then he just talked about the drone. Just look at you and be drone, drone, drone. So many times.
Buy a drone now.
I know.
I literally have to buy a drone.
Yeah, he loved it. He loved it. It was hilarious. So, it was an amazing experience. And I was so happy to show Lily what India has to offer. And I think that the local areas have developed so much. And there's so much to offer for families and people on holiday as well. It's become a little bit touristy, but it's mainly locals who are also enjoying what you would generally have for tourists. And people are going out to eat all the time, and there are malls now and, bigger supermarkets and things. That was really exciting to see. But I took Lily to all the outdoor markets and the, really busy streets with cows and rickshaws. They went on a rickshaw ride. Kai went on a motorbike ride around the block. That was a bit wild. And then we have a camel who comes to our house every day to deliver fruit and veg, and that was really cool. But the best part was taking Lily to the supermarket to buy lots of biscuits and sweets, and then do something for the community. And, she got to go to some slums and give out all these foods and sort of treats for the children there. So it's her first experience of seeing poverty as a 6-year-old, and extremely poor people, who barely living in tents on the side of the road and no clothes, no way to clean themselves. And so it was quite a shocking experience, but she handled it really, really well. And she was feeling really positive about doing something nice for other people. And that's what she focused on. And all the kids just came running, and my dad was just like telling them to queue up, and there was this massive line, and she was just like handing things out. It was really nice to see that and be part of that kind of like core memory for her. And, she immersed herself in terms of the environment and the food and the culture, and she was really enjoying it. She had a great time. My parents spoiled her rotten with, going out evenings, daytime, late nights. She got to do some shopping. She tried on clothes in a changing room for the first time, which was really exciting for her because she never really needs to do that. So obviously she was prancing around and doing fashion shows in shops. But it was really cute. She was happy. She was in her element. Good. She's a true adventurer.
School holidays, that's what they're about. She needs to create memories and have fun and do things. And this is her version of doing it. And she's lucky that she gets to travel and do these things. You were fortunate to do that at that age. I wasn't. So if she's able to do it, and then long may it continue, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I enjoy spending time with my parents, and I really enjoy spending time with my parents and the kids together because we do have so much fun. My mum and I laughed, like crazy many times on the trip, mostly at Kiki, and just the funny things that he does. And he was really entertaining us most of the trip with his crazy ways. And, my mum's laugh is quite infectious. And when you're around her, you just behave silly. So, yeah, I had a really good time spending quality time with them, not worrying about anything. We're so lucky to have a home away from home experience. I don't have to do any cooking or cleaning. My bed's made for me every night with a mosquito net. And in the morning when I get out of bed, the bed's made for me again. And my bathrooms are cleaned. And it's a luxury I'm very grateful for. Even when I come down the stairs, tea's being made for me the way I like it made. And, my mom gets whatever she likes being made. And yeah, it's such a nice house. We've got like a little garden. The kids were loving that. And a little swing. So I'm hoping we can spend some more time there and build some more core memories.
You will. Yeah. And meanwhile, I was home alone.
Who got the holiday?
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, now that I'm working, I have a job. The weekend, so you left on a Friday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that weekend was amazing. That was because it was a weekend, so I had nothing, and I had a little bit of work to do. So yeah, I had the Pharmacist Diaries editing to do. I had a little bit of backlog, but literally I had nothing to do. So I woke up, went to the gym, went to some food shopping, came back, had breakfast. I literally just chilled out, and I didn't have to worry about anything. The house was relatively clean. It was no real cleaning to do. So that weekend was great. Watched loads of football, watched loads of sport. It was fun. But then once the week came and I started my normal routine of going to work, still got up in the morning, went to the gym, did that, got that out of the way, because again, no excuse. When I got to the end of my work days, it was a bit sad, right? When there was no noise. And because you kind of like, you don't realize it at the time, but you kind of, it's something you're used to and you rely on as a distraction from the end of your day, or even sometimes you look forward to it, like, especially when Kiki's been at nursery all day, even though he's so bloody grumpy when he gets back. But I've not seen him the whole day normally, so, and he normally gets home after I finish work or as I'm about to finish work, and it's just nice to see him then. And I miss that, and Lily as well. And she normally comes bounding into my room at 3:30. Gives me a little hug while I'm doing my editing, and I didn't get you coming in and disturbing me and giving me cups of tea and little chats that we used to have. So it did feel very different. But I still had fun.
Yeah.
I still had fun. And then obviously I had the Edinburgh trip, which I planned for that time, which was a bit of a disaster in the end, but it was all good. I keep saying it was a disaster. It wasn't a disaster.
No, you did a lot.
We did get lots done, and Mark was really happy with what we did do, but we just could have done a lot more. And
I know.
it's just frustrating because, anyway. So that was a fun experience of being away. It was the first time we've done that, right? Been away since Kai.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we haven't spent that much time apart in a long time.
No,
if
we
ever.
haven't. Have you? Did you go away with? No, you went to Florida with Lily, didn't you? On your own.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
no,
on your own.
You came.
No, you went on your own. Or did you go to New York? You went to New York.
I went to New York on my own.
And then you were somewhere on. Was that the trip I came to meet you?
You did meet us.
Okay, so you were. It was only a few days. Okay.
It was only like 3-4 days.
Okay, fine.
With Lily.
All right. Yeah. So we've not done.
We went to New York.
So we've not done that. So that's the longest we've done away from
I didn't
each
even
other
think about that.
and the kids. Obviously, and obviously since Kai's been born, that's the longest I've been away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And Lily at the same time. So
he changed a lot in that week.
And he did change a lot. Yeah,
right?
It was really interesting to see that when he came back. His
weird.
His vocabulary,
just like stepped up,
improved.
I know. His communication,
his mannerisms, his communications. Yeah, he just understands a bit more as well, which is interesting. Anyway, yeah. So, every February is that what we're going to do? Go to India?
No, I've got another plan. I've got another plan.
Okay.
Because I get really excited about this new life that I've built where I can create my own time and do things the way that I want to do in the way that I want to do it. And it's one of the biggest joys of being a locum where you're not in a permanent contract is that I can build my own routine. And from September till April, there's a lot of opportunity for me to teach MPharm students, which I absolutely love. And I'm so grateful that I've had 2 days a week with them every single week from September till the end of March. And one of the other joys of that routine is that when that comes to an end, I have an opportunity on Thursdays and Fridays to do something else because it's seasonal. And whether that's spending my time doing more for Pharmacist Diaries, which it will be for a little while, there are other projects that are coming up in my life, which I'm creating or building or networking with people to, make them come alive. And I get to choose that, and that's so exciting. And what excites me a lot about this is that I'm planning towards going in the future and being able to incorporate more travel into my life for longer periods of time with my children. And so what I propose to do is Lily's going into year 3 in September and she'll be going into a new school. So I need to have a look online and speak to the school about one term. Maybe she gets homeschooled. And usually that there are some agreements, I think, from what I can see on Google, that the schools do support families who want to do this, even if it's short term. And so I'm going to reach out to the school and find out what the rules are, because if I can make it happen, I'd really like to go to India in December as the school holidays start, and then return after Easter holidays, where Lily goes back into the school for summer term.
And what am I supposed to do during this time?
So Lily and I discussed this as to what we feel would work best for you. And she's not so keen that you stay away from us for very long periods of time because she found it really challenging to leave you behind for this holiday emotionally. She's very attached to you. And it's her first experience of being away from you. And even at the airport, when we got to Heathrow, it took her about 20 minutes to stop crying and breathe it out and move forward. But she was still really sad for a lot of the early journey, even though she was half excited for this travel. But mostly she was upset about you. And even during the trip, there were moments where she would start crying and she's missing you. So from that experience, she's learned that she doesn't want to be away from you for too long. But obviously I told her that you probably wouldn't enjoy coming with us for that entire duration. and that we would find opportunities for you to be able to fly back and forth for however long periods of time that you'd like.
Yeah, it's just hard with work because I need a really fast internet connection.
We've discussed this with my dad.
Yeah.
And he's convinced he's got internet connection just as good as fiber optic.
Yeah, no, that's all good and well, but he doesn't realise that I'm transferring large video files, uploading. It's the upload speed, not download speed.
I did explain this to him. So we were going to look into how we could make that work for you.
Interesting.
And if we can make it work for you, then that would be great. Otherwise, you'll have to come for holidays.
Yeah, that's cool.
And doing minimal amounts of admin while you're out there, maybe.
Maybe I can build a whole new business stream for Mark in India, of recruitment companies in India, and I can just go there at that time of year, be on the ground, and go and like have meetings and do coaching and stuff like while I'm there.
What? I've already started looking. So I've been looking for opportunities to work. I took Lily to a few appointments and got some blood tests and things done for her for her health checkup. And I met this pediatric consultant who is a gastro specialist. And I was asking him about pharmacy and what people do in the hospitals and how much input they have and how do they feel about pharmacists giving advice. And I was just, being curious while he was writing his notes. And I was telling him, I was like, you know what, I'd really like to come and stay here and experience what pharmacy's like. And I told him about my podcast and how cool it would be to do a day in the life video for like a certain number of weeks or months that I spend and compare the differences between India and the UK. And it will be so much fun, right?
Mm.
And I was already asking him for like opportunities to work with pharmacists. But then I also was like, well, actually, I would learn a lot from the doctors as well. Like, can I come and do a fellowship with a doctor? And it would be very clinical and you would enjoy learning about their perspective on drug treatment and guidelines and formulary, and they would have a pharmacist's input and see what it's like to have a pharmacist within their team from a multidisciplinary point of view. And they were so up for it. They were so excited. And I've got his email address. And you know what I'm like, just get an idea, especially when it comes to travel, and I just put things in place. I was thinking, okay, well, I could work for a pharmacy. My mum's already started Googling nurseries for Kiki, and my dad said that he would help to get like an in-house nanny if we needed for 24/7 coverage. And so, yeah, we were making all these decisions while we were there to try and get this implemented. And I can still work from there. Like I've got this, luxury of working for Great Ormond Street where I don't have to be face-to-face every week. And, I can work on projects that are completely remote for that duration of time. And work with Pharmacist Diaries can be remote, especially if I'm batch recording, face-to-face episodes in advance, then I don't have to worry. And then everything else is online. So it's kind of perfect. And it's in the season where I could change the way that I teach at KCL and just be a bit more flexible. And this is one of the joys of building your own kind of work life and working on different projects and being able to do things that you love outside of work or incorporate them into your job. I could do a whole India podcast series on pharmacy. I mean, like the ideas are just like endless, but it's so exciting. So we want you to come for the whole time, but we didn't know if you would enjoy it, being in India for that long, and also the internet issue.
Yeah, it's just mostly the internet and just having access. It depends what we're doing, right? If I've got events, obviously I can't, but we don't have events in February, so that is probably a good time. But yeah, I can come. I'm happy to travel as well and be in different places. So that gives me the flexibility as well, doesn't it, to do different things. But also, from a production perspective, like going out there and, like you said, just recording some podcasts with some pharmacists out there and doing a series out there. That's just another way for me to sharpen my skills as well, to do different things in different places. So
Absolutely.
I'm definitely up for that. And this is just it. This is how you kind of make things happen for yourself. It's nothing's happened by accident. You just start to plant seeds. I mean, you're very good at this, having conversations. I mean, going back to my experience in Dubai, I went on holiday and had the thought, I could wonder if there's any jobs, and just started looking for jobs, and just started sending my CV out whilst I was on holiday to companies. And it was not with any seriousness. I was just like, let me just see. And, that turned into 10 years of living out there. So if you kind of have to, it goes back to action, right? There's got to be an action. If you have a thought, if you have a dream, if you have something you want to do, what is the action that you're taking today towards that? What's the step? And, if we look at everything that you're doing now with your work, you're taking steps towards whatever that dream, that plan, that vision is, and that's always happening. So it's an interesting reflection exercise. And people say, well, I'm not working in the thing that I want to do, but there's still things you can do within your existing job that's taking action towards a thing that may be outside of what you want to do right now, right? It's all about learning growth. Where are the skills? Where are the crossover skills? What are the transferable skills from what you're doing now? It's going to help you with what you do next, and how are you getting better at that now? How are you developing those skills? So these are the sorts of topics that we can get into a little bit more, which would be fun to talk about.
Yeah, 2024 is going to be a great year. So far, it's been really good.
It's been good. Lots more to come.
Watch this space.
All right.